What's up everyone, Nameco here, Fancy Smack, talking about Week 5 DraftKings value plays. And I saw a couple guys hitting up Dustin's waiver wire asking for it because they had a good week last week. And yeah, we did. I had a great week. I doubled up. And I believe that was actually the comment. So loving it. Again, DraftKings is PPR, and don't put all of these in tournaments. I like the 50-50s with a lot of these, so be a little disciplined. But before we get into it, you got to be in it to win it. So click on the card or link in the description and sign up, deposit a couple dollars in there, play some games, use some of these picks, and win some cash. It's as easy as that. All right, let's start off with running backs. First, I'm going to talk about some McKinnon for the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing Houston. He's only $4,000, and what I liked about him is he got a red zone look last night and got into the end zone. So 95 yards total with the touchdown. The fact he got some red zone work and he clearly out-touched. He was clearly the lead back in touches, so I kind of like him, and I think his value is going to slowly go up. And remember, Houston does not have J.J. Watt. Next on my list is Matt Jones. And again, we're looking 5,000 below. He's 4,800 playing Baltimore. And the thing about Matt Jones, well, Baltimore's run D is not bad by any means. Matt Jones had 22 carries for 117 yards and a touchdown last week. So the Redskins have been saying they want to run the ball more. They want to run the ball. They want to run the ball more. And even though it was against the Browns, you still got to love those 22 carries, and a guy that's going to get that much volume for under $5,000, that's a great value. All right, as I move into the next 1/1A, 1B, I'm talking about the Baltimore situation. So this is something to keep note as you move forward, but I like Wes for 4,800. Now, Dixon can play into that, and we'll get to him in a second, but Wes at 4,800, I think he's good suited for the 50-50s, for some multipliers, just a good value. You're hoping for a solid outing. He should get the goal line work in a minimum because Forsett is gone. Now, in tournaments, if you're looking for that random guy that might hit a home run and he'll be not owned nearly as much, that's Dixon for the Baltimore Ravens. 3,600. So again, West 4,800, Dixon 3,600, West 50-50s, Dixon going for the home run, and they're both playing Washington. All right, so we move on to wide receivers. I went a little above my $5,000 threshold, but this one's for you, boss. Steve Smith. Dustin's in love with this guy, and I see why. He's getting a ton of targets. $5,300 playing Washington, who's terrible against the pass. In the last 2 weeks, he's averaged 22 points. So you gotta love that, and you love the fact that he's getting all those targets, like I said. Next on my list is a guy that I'm putting in my 50-50. So again, this is not a tournament play, but that's Cole Beasley, 4,300 playing Cincy. And what I like to him, and I really like him head-to-heads as well, because it is a PPR league, so you're just going to get a good solid baseline with him. You know he's not going to get 30 or 40 or even 20, but he's pretty much a lock for between 10 and 15, so he's not going to hurt you. So that's why I like him those head-to-heads. All right, last guy I'm talking about is Inunwa, and that is the wide receiver for the Jets. Decker's still banged up. I do not think Decker plays this week. If Decker plays, that hurts him, but I don't think he does. He's 4,600 playing Pittsburgh, and last week again he had 7 targets with Decker out, and there's a good chance against Pittsburgh he could get close to double-digit targets, so you know I love me some targets. All right, moving on to the tight end, quarterback, and defense. Tight end and quarterback are both for Philadelphia, but let's start with that tight end. Zach Ertz is back, and DraftKings has not moved his value at all. He's only $3,500 playing Detroit, who's 31st against tight ends in terms of fantasy. So that's gonna be a good matchup for him. He should get a lot of looks. I know he's banged up, but I like him because I do see low ownership out of him, but he's so cheap. Next is Wentz. I mean, it was tough for me to find a quarterback, but I thought, why would I need to start trusting these rookies, right? $6,400 playing Detroit, 31st against quarterbacks. So similar to Ertz, Detroit's obviously not good against the pass. Gonna like that. All right, in terms of my defense, I'm going again with Minnesota. I know it went last week, and they had a pick, they had a fumble recovery, but they didn't go crazy with the sacks because Manning wouldn't let them. But here's the thing that's really interesting about them. They're averaging 16 points, a little over 16 per contest. That is number 1 in DraftKings right now. So the fact that they are the number 1 scoring defense right now, but not the number 1 price because they're only $3,400, I really like. And they're playing Houston, who has had some trouble, finding the end zone. They're not a super high scoring team. Plus, I can see the young quarterback getting all kinds of confused with those blitzes. So I think Minnesota gets those sacks back. So that's it for Week 5 DraftKings. Hope you won some money last week. I sure did. Hopefully we win some money this week.